Well, fancy seeing you here. Welcome back to another video with Zip Hearing. My name is Nick, and I am back with another video to compare two of the AI titans of the hearing aid world. You've seen me talk about each one of these individually, and now it is time to put them head to head. That's right, today we are going to talk about the Phonak Sphere Infinio 90s and the Starkey Edge AI-24. Before we get too far into this, if you would kindly click the like button, maybe click the subscribe button. It does wonders for our channel, lets us know you're interested, gets us more motivated to bring you some of this amazing content. So please go ahead, click and click. Furthermore, yes, we are continuing with these shorter, more concise, more efficient video style, so hopefully you guys like it. If you want to see the videos about the Infinio Sphere 90s, go ahead, click on that thing. If you want to see the new video we made about my experience with the Starkey Edge AI-24, you can click on that thing. And finally, if you are not sick of clicking on things yet, or if maybe you haven't clicked on anything yet and you want to click on something, here's a link to Zip Hearing, so you can go check out these hearing aids we're talking about today, learn some more about them, maybe check out some pricing, ask some questions. Click on it. So a very, very brief overview on the past videos. I did these spheres first, and I loved them. They are my favorite. They're so good, like so good. The Starkeys, yes, there were pros, there were neutrals, there were cons, but overall, very, very pleased with these devices. There were a couple of weird things I wasn't a huge fan of, but like I said, overall, definitely a thumbs up, totally worth it. So how do these two go head to head? We're gonna talk about two main categories, form and function. We are gonna start with form because it comes first alphabetically and it was the first word of the two that I said. So form, right? The big thing is the size. How do they compare to each other size-wise? I'm gonna put up a picture and I'm gonna show you the difference in size between these two devices. I think it's safe to say you can clearly see a significant difference in size. The Phonaks are definitely a little bit wider, a little bit longer, and overall a much larger device than the Starkey. However, I will say in my particular situation, that was not a concern. Both were comfortable behind the ear, both were very ergonomic, and overall I had a pretty positive experience with both of them. However, ultimately, the level of comfort is going to be determined by each individual user. Everyone's got a different shape of ear, some people wear glasses, some people don't. So at the end of the day, my comfort does not necessarily mean your comfort. Furthermore, in terms of the form factor, I mentioned this in my Starkey video, the buttons. It may not seem like a big deal that the Edge only has one button and the Sphere has two buttons on each device. But I can assure you, for me, it was a big deal. Having one button on each device, yes, makes the experience and the functionality simple and clean. You can assign certain tasks to each button, and that's it. However, with the Sphere, each device has a rocker switch, or two buttons. So I can now adjust volume up and down, instead of having to cycle through the volume by just holding it with the one button. I can now go through programs back and forth. So my dependence on the app is not super significant with the Phonak Sphere, but with the Starkey Edge, I was very reliant on going into the phone app and making those changes and making those selections. Furthermore, you can actually turn off the spheres. What I just said might not make sense if you didn't watch the Starkey video, but the Starkey Edge AI-24, you cannot turn them off by holding a button. You have to put them in a charging case and have them be charged or charging in order to have them turn off. And I had given an example about how that might be an inconvenience when I said, sometimes I take them out to, if I'm taking a nap, right? And I put them in a case. So not being able to turn them off was kind of annoying. Let's talk about the charging case that comes standard, not premium, not additional, standard with each device. The Starkey Edge AI24 is going to come standard with a fairly standard charging case. There's no battery built in. You have to have it plugged into the wall to get power to charge your device. The Phonak spheres come standard with a built-in battery charging case. So I do not need to have the cable with me to charge my hearing aids. As long as there's a charge in the case, it should be able to charge your hearing aids up a full cycle so that you can get through to the next day. Is that reflected in the price point? Yes. The Phonak spheres are going to come in at a higher price than your Edge AI24 because that's just the way they priced it. No other reason. So now that we have talked about the form of each device, let's talk about the function. Right off the bat, when you first get your hearing aids, you're going to have a standard set of programs that are assigned by your audiologist or hearing specialist, and there's going to be your initial programming or fitting based off of your audiogram. Here is where Phonak, for me, immediately won. Upon putting the spheres in my ears, they were perfect. I did not need to have any sort of additional tweaks. Everything was just the exact way I would always want it from my other hearing aids. It was just easy and perfect on the first minute of using them. I cannot say the same for the Edge. I feel like in order to get the Edge to your perfect situation, you have to kind of refine them and fine-tune them a couple of times, right? You may have to go back 1, 2, or 3 times to your audiologist or hearing specialist to get them to that point where you're like, okay, they're perfect. So eventually both hearing aids are going to get to that level of personal perfection. Just for me, in my experience, the spheres got there way faster than the Edge. Let's talk about those standard programs, right? Your sort of default programs. In my experience, using these both for about a month, the standard baseline, right, no fancy stuff, the standard baseline program on the Sphere was far superior to the standard baseline program on the Edge. Both of these devices have sort of like their own unique term for their AI mode. So the Spheres have spheric mode and the Edge has Edge Plus mode. I will tell you that with the Edge, immediately upon putting them in my ears for the day, they went into Edge Plus mode right off the bat. Why? Because the standard program was good, but it wasn't great. There was a lot of excess noise that I didn't love. It wasn't super good with speech and noise. So to resolve that, all you have to do is press that Edge Plus mode button in the app. And then it goes into Edge Plus mode and all those bad things go away and you have a fantastic hearing experience with the Edge. The spheric mode in the Spheres is their AI super hearing mode. Both of these modes, the Edge Plus and the spheric mode, can be activated within the app if you have your audiologist or your hearing specialist program that functionality for you. And here's why I think the Sphere will win this sort of programming battle as well. I spend most of my time, I would say 95% of my time in the standard program mode with the Sphere. It's actually pretty rare for me to feel the need to get into that spheric mode. And yes, that includes when I'm in a restaurant or when I'm in a bar or when I'm in a loud environment. I don't know why, but the standard mode on the Sphere is so good. And then when you kick it into spheric mode, it's just like, takes it to a whole new level. So yes, for me, standard programming, I like the Sphere. How about streaming quality? How does that play out? Well, I don't know if you're gonna be surprised at this point, but the Sphere wins again. And I don't know if it's a component reason? Like, is it just a better, like, is it just because the components are better? Was it using higher end sort of speakers? I don't think so. But the other factor that could play into this is the type of Bluetooth connection. The Sphere uses a standard Bluetooth connection, whereas the Edge uses that MFI or made for iPhone connection. And from what I gather, there is a factual loss in quality between made for iPhone standard and standard Bluetooth connection. So yes, that could be a reason or multitude of reasons why the Sphere's streaming quality is better. And I would actually go as far as saying that the streaming quality is pretty damn good. Like, even for a hearing aid, it's still really good. So we just talked about streaming quality, but how about phone call quality? Both of these devices are going to be able to make phone calls through the device. And with that being said, which one is better? Which one sounds clearer? Which one has the better quality? This one I did turn to friends and family to do this testing, and hands down, 5 times out of 5, everyone always said, hey man, whatever one you used the second time, the second phone call, that one sounded better. That one sounded like you were on the phone with it to your head. And every time, that second one was the Sphere. The Sphere has the better phone call quality. It's clearer, it has higher quality. So phone call quality, streaming quality, the Sphere wins. So we just talked about those AI modes, right? Those boost speech and noise modes on both of these devices. Which one is better? Which one has a better AI speech and noise mode? I'm gonna bum you guys out. And this is not the easy way out. This is not the easy answer. They're both amazing. Like, one is not better than the other. They are just both so good. So if that's a main priority for you, you can't go wrong with either one. How about the battery? Which one's gonna last longer? Which one's gonna go the longest time between charges? That's not a surprise. The Edge AI24. It really has no competition when it comes to battery life. Like, it's just the king of the world when it comes to hearing aid battery life. People are reporting up to 48 hours of use with these Edge AI24s. The reports say 24 hours on the Sphere. I don't know if you could do that. I would say realistically, you're probably going to get 18 to 22, maybe 20. You know, if you're not in spheric mode a lot, 24 should be fine. Either way though, like 48 hours, that's wild. That's crazy. Ultimately, based on numbers and science, the Edge AI 24, champion of the battery. Let's talk about the apps, like your phone, the phone apps, because you're always on your phone all day long. Your mom should be yelling at you, get off your phone. Starkey 100% has the better app and the better app experience. The user interface is clean, it's intuitive, it's functional, it's a great experience. I cannot say the same about Phonak. Yes, I can tell they have put a lot of time and energy over the past 3 years into the app, but they are still very far from the level of Starkey, of Audeo. It's just they're trailing in the app department. Furthermore, Starkey has the Watch Companion app, so you don't even have to get your phone out if you're going to make a simple change like volume or program. I cannot say the same about our friends at Phonak. They do not have a Watch Companion app, but they do have the second button on each hearing aid, so maybe it's a balancing act. I'll tell you what though, the Edge may have the better app, but you know whose tap controls actually work? Phonak. You can adjust the sensitivity, it's responsive, it knows if you're tapping, or it knows if it's an accidental, like, oh, I put my hood on, or I took my hood off and it bumped my ear. The Phonak just knows, it works. The Starkey Edge AI24 just does not work. Like you're slamming your head and it's just like doing nothing. It's not functional. It's really useless. It's kind of just an afterthought, almost like they accidentally put it in and didn't realize that they didn't like program it. It's weird. I don't like it. It doesn't work and I don't know why. So to wrap this comparison up, ultimately, both of these hearing aids, fantastic, leading edge, highest tech, so good. The speech and noise on both of them is superb. Edge Plus mode, amazing. Spheric mode, amazing. You cannot go wrong. Realistically, it's just going to be which one you prefer. Do I want something smaller that fits my ear a little better? Then go with the Edge. Am I not too worried about the size? Phonak, sure. Do I want the made for iPhone connection because it's easy and it's stable and it's cool? Do the Edge. Do I need that sort of fluid transfer between devices and no stalling and the connection quality needs to be superior? Then get the Phonak. We are not here to make the decision for you. We are here to just give you our experience so that you can then interpret that however you see fit. You are also more than capable of making your own decision and coming to your own conclusions with your own experience if you wanted to maybe take them for a test drive. So head on over to Zip Hearing and maybe talk to one of our cool people that work there and see if you can get set up with something. Thank you for listening to me ramble, hopefully for not as long as usual. And yet again, give us a thumbs up. Click that thumbs up. If you like the content and you want to know when we make more, click that subscribe button so that when you open the YouTube app, you see someone's very pretty face in your feed. I'm talking about me. I'm pretty. And finally, thank you for watching my video. Thank you for being a patient and educated viewer. I have been Nick. You have been awesome. And I'll see you in the next video.